So I just watched Mortal Kombat 2, and I am so sorry for the late review, y'all. This a lot of stuff's been happening. Life is a son of a bitch. But I wanted to go ahead and talk about this movie because I was highly looking forward to it, and I just got done watching it. So what's the plot of Mortal Kombat 2? Well, if you have seen the first one, 2021, you know that movie had no tournament in it. This one is all about the tournament, about bringing in new threats, new stakes and new characters. And so the movie mainly follows Shao Kahn, who wants to take away Earthrealm and conquer it because they're on their last turn in the tournament, and if they fail, then our heroes, then Shao Kahn will take over Earthrealm. And you got Katana here, who is ruling under him because he killed her dad and then took over their whole village and made it his own. And then you got Johnny Cage being played by Carl Urban, and he pretty much is just our fish out of water. Like I said, I am a pretty big fan of Mortal Kombat. I've been looking forward to this movie. It got delayed really bad for some reason a couple months ago, but it's finally here, and I really liked it. But then again, I am extremely biased with this movie because I am such a big fan of Mortal Kombat, and I do love these movies, and I do love the game. The game's one of my favorites of all time. Well, not the game, but like multiple games in it. I'm a big fan, and I've been playing Mortal Kombat since I was a kid. Probably shouldn't have been doing that. So, like I said, this review's gonna be a little biased, but I want to go into why I like this movie and why. Well, yes, the 1995 one has so much nostalgia for me. This is probably the best Mortal Kombat movie we've ever gotten. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Johnny Cage first. Here he's playing very much so a washed up version of Johnny Cage. Like, you take Chuck Norris, and that is Johnny Cage in this movie, and I really vibe with it. I liked it a lot, and I thought it was really well done. And then you got characters like Katana in this movie, and she has a very good arc. She's kind of our main protagonist throughout this movie because you see her story from when she was younger. And then we have the rest of the characters from the first one, and yeah, no, they're still good here. The movie ends very abruptly, but it also all of our characters are separated by the end. Some of them have died, and I just feel like most of the characters here could have had more to do. That's my biggest complaint. One of my biggest complaints with the movie is I feel like you're going to kill off so many characters in this movie. The first one, you kind of got to connect with them, but not really because that first one moved at a very fast pace. But here, you still like him. I mean, you got Liu Kang in here, and he's great, and his relationship with Kung Lao is great. And I don't want to spoil what happens to Kung Lao, but it is very sad. And then you got characters like Sonya and Jax, and they're just not really in the movie. They're in the movie, but they don't have a ton to do. Got newcomers like Jade and Katana and Johnny Cage, and they're all fun. Katana was probably the best actor in the movie, and Johnny Cage is Johnny Cage. It was so much fun. They bring in Baraka here, and Baraka is just. It's very interesting compared to the games, but I really like Baraka in this movie. And Shao Kahn himself, it was really nice to have him here, and he's definitely done better in this than he was in something like Annihilation, and which is not very hard to be better than Annihilation. But this movie is, and they do a really good job with it. I really enjoyed that part of the film a lot, and one thing I just really liked about this movie is it wasn't afraid of the lore. The first one, you can tell it's like we're making a Mortal Kombat movie, but the lore of Mortal Kombat is so insane and so there's just a lot of it, and they didn't really know what to do with that in that first movie. In this one, you can tell they're a lot more confident. They're a lot more they know that the people who's watching this movie are fans, and if you're not, you can still get into the film, and it really works for that. And it just doesn't shy away from the lore like most video game adaptations does, and kind of like what the original movie did because it dropped so much so quick. Which I mean, it's fine. It's the first movie, but I'm happy the second one didn't make that same mistake of just dropping a whole bunch of lore and not really trusting the audience with it, which I liked. Scorpion's in this movie, but barely. Sub-Zero's in this, gets art directed, but he's barely here, which is fine. It's just one of my other biggest issues with the movie is it tries to tackle way too much. It tries to just throw so much at the audience that we just cannot catch it. And while, I'm appreciative of that because like it doesn't think the audience is dumb with the lore, they also want to do so much in this movie that sometimes it kind of trips over some feet, which is okay, but there are so many characters in this movie. Like spoilers, but like they bring Kano back in this, and Kano's fun, but I didn't really think this movie needed Kano or Kung Kung Lao being resurrected. That could have been saved and things like that. It's just I don't know. It's a weird thing because this movie's definitely good in my eyes. I did really like it. It's really fast paced and it doesn't slow down for anything. Like there are no scenes in this movie that really slow down that much. Um the fatalities here are great. I love the gore in this. It was really well done. You can tell that the people behind the camera really do like the game, which you can tell that from the trailer and how much stuff they want to put in this movie. So that really worked for me. And I also really did like what they did with Johnny Cage in this, where he was just kind of your fish out. He was pretty much how like Cole Young was in the first movie, but better because it's Johnny Cage. And Cole Young, while I didn't hate him in that first movie, there's a reason why he's not in this one a lot, and it's because Cole fans just didn't want to see an original character whenever that could have just been Johnny Cage. You can tell that the filmmakers behind this movie were very much like, we messed up on a lot in that first one, and we really want to rectify a lot of what we messed up on. And we wanted to make the ultimate Mortal Kombat movie. And while they did that, and they did a good job of it, I feel like we should have taken a little bit more time with the characters. It moves at such a frantic pace. It gives the 1995 movie, which also moves very frantically, a run for its money because we're always doing something in this movie. We're always moving. We're always going around, and well, it works. It's still fun. It's just I just really hope that if we ever get a third one, they do slow it down just a little bit because now we've done the tournament, we've done Shao Kahn, we've done the lore, we have the setup. I just want to spend more time with these characters because I've gone attached to versions of these characters in the games, but for the most part, besides like the newcomers in this movie, I didn't really get too attached to this version of Liu Kang or this version of Jax, and I love Jax, or Sonya or Raiden, things like that. And I just feel like next time we just need to take our time a little bit more if we do get a third movie, which this movie definitely sets up and it ends on a cliffhanger. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I liked Mortal Kombat 2. I thought it was a fun time. It was really enjoyable, and as a fan of the games, I had a good time with the movie. And it's probably is the best Mortal Kombat movie they've ever made from like a game perspective. It still has a lot of flaws. It still isn't perfect. But if you just want to go into a movie that's very much so kind of a celebration of Mortal Kombat, you're gonna like this. You're gonna have fun with it, like I did. So I will give Mortal Kombat 2 a little bit of a rating curve because if I wasn't a fan of this, it would have been a little bit lower. But I'll give this an 8 out of 10.